Okay, guys, hi! Welcome to another episode of Catching Up with Anowah and
Miss Orstin.
we are here and privileged to be with Mrs. Amy Frimpong. I can't begin to describe who this woman is, to be honest, because there's not enough words. So I'm going to keep it short and simple because you guys know I waffle on. And allow her to introduce herself and talk about the National Theatre, because today is all about the arts.
Well, you introduced me, so let me just go right in and talk about the National Theatre.
Yes.
The National Theatre of Ghana is a government-subvented agency, which means that we have part government support, and the expectation is for us to also generate some money from it. Our mandate is to develop and promote the performing arts. Our mandate, I like to repeat that, is to develop and promote the performing arts.
Awesome.
And the reason I do that is, especially in Ghana, when you talk of the National Theatre, people just think about the building. But the mandate has nothing to do about the building. So we execute this mandate through what I call our three-legged stool. And the three-legged stool consists of one, the three resident companies, which represent the areas of music, dance, and drama.
Okay.
And then we have our programming that we go, it's mostly done through collaborations and partnerships with other arts organizations, or a program, or individual artists, or something that we do to keep the heritage alive. So some of these programs are like Concert Party, Kidda Fest, Fun World, and in recent times we've started the Wednesday drama for the youth there to present youth voices there. We have Film Thursdays, we have Poetry Fridays, we have a quarterly comedy series. So there's a lot that happens within the collaborations. And then the third one obviously is the building, because it's a landmark, and it's important for people to come in here and be able to tour the building and to experience something within the building. So because of our mandate, our work goes beyond the building. So we have programs that happen in the building, and we have programs that happen outside of the building. And all of that is part of the work we do as National Theatre.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's really beautiful, because I grew up here. I don't know about you.
I grew up here too, guys.
I grew up here coming. I remember I used to get into trouble for coming for Kidda Fest rehearsals. We used to watch Fun World on TV, and now I don't see that happening. So I'm very happy that these things are still going on. And as a part of us being, there when it started, I think that everybody that was there during the time should give back, or try and get back into it, because it's still happening, and that's how we're going to nurture our young ones coming. Because Kidda Fest was the thing for me. it really was.
So let me try again, because I've met quite a few people who were here because of Fun World or Kidda Fest or something of that nature. I think that, I tell a lot of people that when the theatre was first built, it was a new building and everyone wanted to be here.
Yeah.
So it's a face. I call it, I tell people that, we've gone through being a baby and being a child and being youth. Right now we're 30.
Yeah.
And if you remember,
yeah.
at 30 you've finished university.
Yeah.
You're hanging around, you sort of have a work maybe, but you're at the point where you're annoying relatives. Like, they want to support you, but they're not going to support you as much as they did when you were a youth.
Yeah.
So we've evolved, and people need to think about us that way. So in the beginning, everyone wanted to be here because it was new, it was a new experience.
Oh.
30 years later, we have to give people a reason to come. And also in the beginning, we didn't have a plethora of media stations.
Yes.
everyone
Was
at
watching
6 o'clock
was-
sat down and watched GTV. You know, so it was easy. Everybody in Ghana watched one station. So
Yeah.
if you had a partnership with them, that's it.
Yeah,
Publicity was cheaper to do and all of that.
yeah,
But right now, we're in a position where it's a little bit more challenging because we have consumers on different media platforms,
Yeah.
you know, on radio, on TV, on social media, and even then there are too many different platforms. So the work of a marketer and PR has become a little bit more challenging.
yeah.
And so I think for me, our biggest asset should be those who've had experiences here and who are interested in ensuring that the next generation also have similar experiences and therefore supporting or sharing the word about the work that happens here so they
Yeah.
can experience it as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's the most important.
That is important because keeping it alive for us that grew up here but still didn't really come to the National Theatre that much. It's really wonderful to hear your experience and to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
and see what Auntie Amy's doing, our colleague
Yeah.
Auntie Amy, is doing. Because there's a lot of us diasporans coming to Ghana, coming home. And yes, a lot of us are coming to party and have fun, but there's so much more to our history and to our culture that we need to keep alive. So as people are coming and learning new things, it'll be great to see you even give back. Because a lot of people as well that love to do poetry. I've got a lot of friends in the poetry industry in London and they're doing so well. And they do want to come back, but they don't really have that connect or they don't really know where to go. So even so even having this as a platform or somewhere where you can go and come to this iconic building, as you said, I think would be great. Like, yeah, I think it's just gonna be amazing.
So to those artists coming together, I know a couple of times I've written to the embassies and encouraged them that when artists come to town, we want them. Because, you know, as an artist, when you go somewhere, yeah, doing all the other things is fun. But when you have another engagement with an artist community,
Yeah.
it is different.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter whether you speak English or not for us, because artists have their own way of talking. We've had several workshops, master class, whatever you have. If you want to offer something, it's open. We just have to manage it, of course. And so there has to be communications before. For instance, yesterday we had someone who came here from Massachusetts, came to Ghana 50 years ago
Wow.
at the School of Performing Arts and then performed with the Ghana Dance Ensemble and came here and just wanted to know what was going on. So we took him on a tour of the building. He got to see the rehearsals of not just the National Dance Company, but also the National Symphony Orchestra. And he was excited, you know, like, yeah, I sat in my corner and I did a little bit of moves. But we're open, we're open to lots of collaborations.
yeah,
For the last 7 years, I think, you know, taking out the COVID period, we've always had a visiting artist from, it was mostly the US, but that's not to say we're only working with the US, but a visiting artist who comes and we work with them on a major production. And the major production often involves all the 3 resident groups. So you have the symphony, you have the dance, you have drama. And that's because we believe in promulgating the ABB Ground concept. The ABB Ground concept was started by our forefathers and all the theater practitioners before us, and Tiefua, Sutherland, and T, who pushed the ABB Ground concept. And Dr. Abdallah actually continued it, and all the scripts that he wrote, he used that concept. And basically, what that is saying is, we should be looking at our arts through our own lenses and not the lenses of the European market. So, for us, in typical African culture, the drama is not separated from dance, neither is it separated from music. It comes together as a piece. And so when we're doing the major production, that is what we focus on. How do all three come together? So it's a true representation of how the performing arts happens in our African culture.
Okay, that's really good. You mentioned something
Okay.
that, to be honest, I didn't think was common or something that as Ghanaians we had, which is the symphony orchestra.
Yeah.
Up until, was it last weekend, I had never heard a Ghanaian symphony orchestra play before. Is this something that, you know, you're looking forward to doing more of the future so people will know about it, or?
It's interesting because we've performed, I think almost every year we have a guest artist from, and they usually come from the embassies. So the orchestra has been around, I think it's the oldest of the three resident groups. It was started by the late Kwame Nkrumah, our first president.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been, I think it was 1960, so it's been around for a really long time. And those who know of the orchestra know of the orchestra. Not only that, they don't only just play classical music, but also play songs by Ghanaian composers for the orchestra. And a couple of years back, they also did orchestration of Ejako Nemo's work. So they are always looking for partnerships with popular musicians so that we can orchestrate the music and be able to perform in other countries. So they've been around for a really long time.
Wow, brilliant to know. Something that I thought was new, but apparently not.
It was that way before you were born.
Honestly, and it was the feedback from the younger generation
Yeah.
that came to the show that it was like, oh my gosh, this looks like something that was either in a movie or, you know, you don't really see that. Or they never really think to go and sit somewhere, to go and listen to that kind of music.
Yeah.
So it was very, I don't know, inspiring, that's the word I want to use. So it was very inspiring for them and actually for myself. So I'm looking forward to, hearing more of that.
I think our challenge now is how do we communicate to everyone? Because we want to, one of the goals in our recently developed strategic plan is to be more accessible to all Ghanaians, regardless of any barriers to participation, be it geographic, age, whatever access one needs. So one of the things we're trying to develop right now, in fact, the orchestra has started, is to develop a youth orchestra. And it's because we've noticed that a lot of students are learning to play instruments, but there's no collection point for them all to perform. So we've began the Youth Symphony Orchestra so that we can begin to bring people in.
Okay. When is it starting, or when?
It started, they've actually started rehearsal.
Okay.
The challenge is that most of them are underprivileged, so they need instruments. You see, if you are not careful, you can develop something where only a few privileged people can participate. So, and sometimes even finding their way here for rehearsals is a challenge. So we've started, one of the initiatives of my current board chairman is to have like a symphony orchestra in every district across the country. But it will mean that we need to find instruments for a lot of children. We need to let them understand and value and appreciate that kind of music. So there's a lot of education that's going to go in there. That's why this partnership with Kofi will be great. And it will be in line with our current strategic plan.
So what's the plan for 2023?
Let's talk about 2022.
Okay. What did we do in 2022?
How are we closing out the year? So we have performances that we specifically set aside for anything both music, dance, and drama. Each of them will be performing starting next week as part of, so it's part of the December GH activities. But because we noticed that a lot of people come for the nightlife, and so they don't tend to wake up
So they
early.
come purposely for the nightlife.
They don't wake up very early in the morning, so we've designed these programs to start at 4 o'clock so that there's still enough time for them after to have something to eat before they take off at night.
Yeah.
We also have, I think it's Thursdays, we'll have dance classes. So if you want to learn any kind of dance,
Traditional dance?
traditional dance.
Okay.
So that at least when you come, you can say that, I learned how to dance
Yeah,
before I left
That would be
Ghana.
awesome.
So that, and it's either drop in or you can pay for a month, depending on your schedule. So
Okay.
that's also available, and I can give you the details of that.
Okay.
We also have we have the monthly series that will still happen. So we have concert party on the 18th.
Concert party
It's
still
still
happening.
happening.
Really?
Yes.
What
We-
is it showing on TV?
This year we have a partnership with One to Me Communications. So
Okay.
Movement TV is showing it now.
Okay.
So on the 18th, there's one episode of concert party. There's going to be drama on the last Wednesday of the month. There's a film night the last Thursday of the month.
Okay.
So, and then on the 30th of December, National Theatre turns 30. So there'll be a special performance on that day.
Ooh.
So that's why I said let's start with
Let's start
before-
2022 before we go.
Uh,
Wow, that's even a lot to end the year with.
Yeah.
I mean, the concert party thing through us.
Yes.
It
We've had challenges with it. And you see, what people don't understand about concert party is that it's a uniquely Ghanaian art form. That's number one, that has to be present. Secondly, it offers a lot of excitement for people, not only those who come to watch, but people who watch it when they are in their cars and in their homes. So there are a lot of closet audiences for concert party. And the way concert party worked was that it created jobs in small towns and villages. The way we consume concert party in Accra is not the way it is consumed in towns and villages.
Yeah.
When you go there for a performance, you start the performance at maybe 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You play music till midnight.
Mhm.
Then the concert actually happens, and afterwards you play
Wow.
music because you're performing in one town, but there are 4 or 5 different villages around it, and they all walk to attend. So at night, they are not going to go back to their villages.
Yeah.
So you have to keep them engaged till they leave in the morning.
Okay.
So that's
a whole
It's
night.
yes.
Wow.
So it's a different kind of audience.
Mhm.
And I remember, you people are not privy to Super Bowl. Right?
Yes,
Oh,
Super
we're
Bowl,
old.
yeah.
We're old.
You're too young to this. Because
Sorry.
I had a conversation with him, I remember a couple before he died, and he said the reason why the Soulful Dance group became famous when Joris Waterberg brought them on together is because they had been traveling the villages. So people knew them
already.
already. So when they came on TV, they brought their audience along
with
with
them.
them, plus the new ones, you know. So, and they came from different groups. So they just pulled the best of the best among from different
And
concert
created a
parties and then created a group. And I think that the concert party model, the concert party tradition has nurtured a lot of Kumawood artists.
Yeah.
And we need to support, because you see, when you groom them, if I'm not going to name names, but if you look at the Kumawood artists and you look at those who do really well, they will tell you that even if they were not on stage, they were here and they saw the rehearsals, and that helped them, you know, develop into who they are today. I can actually mention Ejeko because he was on our board last year.
Oh,
and
okay.
he last 10. And he will talk to us about what is the national theatre, Yabana Yati, a show baby, because one more and a penny for one more identity or I just say a flowers.
Wow.
You know, so there's when we create work, it is not just about the work that we are creating in the performing arts. We create work beyond what actually happens on stage. And so when I talk, I constantly talk about the economic impact of the arts. We should never be measured by box office receipts, but beyond what happens at the box office. Those who work backstage, the carpenters, the light technicians, the sound engineers,
All the people that you don't see.
even in the audience, the ladies who have to fix their hair, their makeup, buy a new dress, all of that before they come to a show, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
It takes
a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So the impact goes beyond the night of the performance, and so we need to invest in it so that the benefits can continue to carry beyond the stage.
Yeah.
That's very true. Okay. So, wow. Ejako literally, then, yeah, what he did say is right, because there are a lot of people who are behind the scenes who were watching maybe the people who are in the forefront before they were even called. And most of those people who are probably in the forefront you don't see, you don't know anymore.
Yeah.
But you've heard of him and what he's done. Because, yeah, I remember when he came to London, I was like, oh my God, this is a celebrity. Everyone was like, please stop embarrassing me. I've stopped, I've literally just calmed down. But not going too further into 2023, but if you could give us like a little snippet of what will happen from the new year.
So for the new year, we'll continue our monthly program. So let me put it this way. The programs, the collaborations that will continue to nurture for next year is designing different ways. So we have Kidder Fest and Fun World for the children. One of the things we want to do next year is actually franchise Fun World so that there'll be Fun World events happening throughout the country instead of focused in Accra and the surrounding cities. So our goal is to go beyond here. Kidder Fest, we've put on hold for the last 2-3 years because of COVID. We hope to come back next year and fully Kidder Fest. Then we have the programs for youth, which is the monthly programs, the Wednesday drama, Thursday film, the Friday poetry. We want to bring back music. We had a High Lifetime piece that we suspended during COVID, so we hope to bring it back. We also hope to bring up our comedy series, and that is really growing comedic voices over a period of time, and then we have an annual event, so we'll continue. But then each year we have a major production that involves all 3 resident groups. Next year it's going to be based on Cole's song, or Frimpong. The one Frimpong Cole's is if you are not to turn on Now go and look for it. It was played in the first ever Ghanaian movie, I Told You So. So listen to it.
That was the first ever Ghanaian movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Then we had so that one, and then we have a partnership with Kofi Hefo that's going to happen on Easter, so on the April 8th. So that one is happening. In addition to that, there'll be other performances by the resident groups across the year.
It's looking busy, guys.
Very
looking busy. So
on an average, we have about 130 programs each year.
That's a lot of
this
programs.
building alone. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Wow. Is it streamed elsewhere, like online, for those of us that don't live here at all?
Oh, even those who live here, because this is new to me.
We've tried streaming. We did it during COVID, and it didn't go very well. The maybe outside of Ghana will work a lot, but in Ghana, the internet speeds do not allow people to really experience a live performance because they keep saying it's buffering and buffering and buffering. So people get upset and the cost of internet. So the feedback is they are paying twice for the whole show because it costs maybe more than even what they would cost to watch the show. So
that makes
those
sense.
are issues that we need to work through.
Mhm.
But we're growing our YouTube station, so we continue to put bits and pieces on there.
Oh,
That would even be
because I was about to ask of after show reviews.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That sounds good, like a whole YouTube channel specifically for the National Theatre and then all the specific groups, so the dance, the music, everything, the film, the comic. At least you know you can rewatch that after that. Oh, that sounds brilliant.
So we're still working on that one.
Yeah, that was
Our biggest challenge, like I said, is the cost of PR marketing.
yeah.
Also, we do not have, so when our organogram for the institution was put together, it lacked a communications office. And we're struggling, so we're going through a reorganization and hope that we can put that in place. Like I said, when you first opened was, everybody wanted to be here, so there was no need for that. But now that you've grown, certain things need to change to match your current needs.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, this has been short and sweet.
Yes.
And I'm so thankful for this opportunity to get to talk to you and to learn more. Because a lot of us don't know, but I have a lot of friends that do want to come back home, not just for party after party, but to actually learn. And they also have like talents that they want to showcase. They're being broadcast in so many different countries, but not in their own home country. So even knowing that you want to work with them, to be honest, they'll be over the moon and overjoyed. It will bring them home, and then also they do come with their own audience. So that would also hopefully grow the National Theatre to the point of where we would love it to be in the future. So thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.